Charlie, number 30. A lot's been said about the situation with him. I think overall it's, any disappointment or any criticism that's come his way, especially from Carlton fans, it's really born out of, an emotional frustration that he's not playing. And, he's so talented, and that's never been a question for us. The fact that we just don't get to see him, when you draft a team the way that we've done it, particularly in that 2015 crop, especially those key position guys, you think in your head, this is the group that's going to take us forward. This is our spine. One thing we know as Carlton supporters is, our best footy with this group is going to be played when Charlie and Harry are in the same team. And because we've been starved of that, I think that's where the frustration comes from. Part of me wants to say, listen, Charlie, you've had 5 knee injuries spanning from, I think it was round 2018 against Adelaide, and it's just sort of gone from there. We've had basketball, we've had weddings, and we've had all sorts of things that have been controversial and spoken about. And, should you be posting photos of yourself with drinks on social media and deleting them and things of that nature? I mean, we can talk about that, but let's keep it on the footy. One thing Charlie's got to do is just focus on getting his rehab right. I think, is he in the right environment to do that? Big yes from me. You got Sam Doherty, you got his brother, you've got professionals all over the club who, dictate the culture from a player's perspective. So I think he's in that right environment. And this is really on Charlie now. This is on Charlie. What's the rehab going to be like? What are the sacrifices he's going to make in order to get the best out of himself? Because we're at a point now where, he's in that age bracket now where he's not too young to say, he'll be all right. He's still very young. And these guys don't peak until 25, 26, maybe 27. But still, there's a lot of work to be done. Now, he's not going to be playing until, mid-year, maybe later. And you already know, as a forward, as a key position guy, you start behind the 8 ball, you finish behind the 8 ball. That's just the way it's going to be. So 2020, look, it's not a write-off, but that's the challenge, I think, for Charlie. How to get the most out of this year, because moving forward, this guy is the centerpiece of our attack moving forward. Well, that's the idea anyway. I think that's why we pay him what we pay him. I think that's why we extended his contract for the length that we extended it, and that's why we get so excited and I guess so upset as well why he's not playing, because of what we know he can do for the club in the future. I think the defense is pretty set. I think we've got a pretty decent midfield. We might need to add 1 or 2 more pieces and have 1 or 2 more pieces grow in 2020 and beyond. And then the forward line, it's him, it's Harry, it's Mitch to an extent as well. So that's really what I want to see from Charlie in 2020. I'd like to see him speak a little bit more. And the reason why I say that is because, there's the old notion of, say less and whatnot. But in this situation, he's a franchise player. He's the face of the club along with Cripps and a few others. And he's the most marketable guy. And I guess I'm just being selfish from a fan's point of view. I just want to see the character behind Charlie. When you see Sam Doherty in his rehabilitation, he didn't overdo it, but you could see what's he doing. Oh, okay, he's going to the US, he's documenting his rehab. I want to see that from Charlie, and if that's something he's not willing to do, then fair enough. Not everyone is comfortable talking in front of a camera, and that's fine. But I just get the feeling that what I have seen is, people taking pot shots at him, and himself, he probably hasn't, he has himself to blame in a sense for, some of the photos that have gone online. And I just want to see some sort of footage of, where's his head at? What's he talking about? What are the issues coming from him? And what's he excited about the most? What's he disappointed about? I don't really like the way that the information was given to the fans. Forget about the media and their timelines and what the club told the media. But for us as fans, if it was more serious of an injury than what it originally was, then just say it. I don't like the smokes and mirrors. I don't want to be a club like that. I think someone like a Ken Hinkley does a pretty good job of it, and Port Adelaide as a whole. When you compare them to Adelaide, for example, who have a 2-week injury, which actually is a 6-week injury. So a little bit of transparency is what I'm asking for on this front. And overall, on a high level, let's just get Charlie Curnow as healthy as possible, so we can have some impact in the second half of the year, because you never know where we're going to be. If we're going to be in the mix for finals, then he's going to play a massive part in that second half of the season, especially that last surge when you need to find something when other people are getting injuries. So there is a silver lining. It's all going to be okay. But we need to start seeing some results and some application. And that's really, I think, where it all comes from. What about you? How do you see the Charlie Curnow situation? It's very contentious, and there's people on either side, but I think there's a happy medium in the way that you express your disappointment or whatnot. You always got to be respectful to the player and to the professionals, and let them do their work. So with that, let me know what you think.